Hello friends, welcome to Elite Class. Our today's topic is Cro-magnon man. Let's get started. First of all, we need to know that where have we discovered the Cro-magnon man from? So, we all should be knowing that we have discovered Cro-magnon man from France, and in France there is a region known as Dordogne. This region has a place called Cro-magnon wherefrom we have found the fossils of the Cro-magnon man. Now, this was discovered by a anthropologist called Lartet in 1868. The estimated age of a Cro-magnon man is 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. Cro-magnon man were associated with the Aurignacian culture. Now, what do we mean by the Aurignacian culture? It is actually where we have a great diversification and specialization of tools, and these tools also include the engraving tools, and through which the art has been made quite possible in many other forms. In the Aurignacian culture, there was also the preponderance of stone flake tools rather than the blade tools. The cranial capacity of the Cro-magnon man is 1550 to 1650 cubic centimeters. Moving forward, let's read about the physical features of Cro-magnon man. Now, it is said that the skull of the Cro-magnon man is pentagonal in outline. Now, what do we mean by the pentagonal in outline? Let's have a look on the skull of Cro-magnon man. This is the skull of Cro-magnon man, and if we count the sides, that's the side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4 and side 5. So you can see that this is 5-sided skull, and this 5-sided skull is due to the presence of the parietal tuberocytes. What do we mean by parietal tuberocytes? It is actually a convex smooth immense on external surface of parietal bone of skull. This is the parietal bone of skull, and this is convex immense on the external surface, making it quite prominent. This is making a flat surface for the skull at the forehead area, making the forehead more broad, and this gives a 5-sided figure or a 5-sided shape to the skull of a Cro-magnon man. Skull is pentagonal in outline due to the presence of prominent parietal tuberocytes, as already explained. Cro-magnon man also have small brow ridges. Their forehead is quite broad, as I have already told you, and they have marked prognathism. Now, what do we mean by prognathism? It is simply the extension or bulging out of the lower jaw. When your lower jaw is quite bulged out, so your chin becomes quite distinct. And it is also said that the Cro-magnon man were the first humans with the prominent chin. Let's have a look on the diagram to understand it more clearly. As you can see over here, this is the normal jaw, and where you can see the jawline is simply like this. Now, looking at the prognathic lower jaw, so you can see there is a bit of extension, and this is making the chin more prominent. So, the prognathism is simply the extension or bulging out of the lower jaw. As you can see, this is the upper jaw, and lower jaw is a bit bulged out, making the chin more prominent. Now also, the front and the cheek teeth are very smaller in Cro-magnon man. In Cro-magnon man, the lower leg is longer than the thigh. That means your femur is smaller than your lower leg. This femur makes the thigh of a man, and the thigh is shorter in length in Cro-magnon man than the lower leg. Similarly, forearm is longer than the upper arm. Okay. Now, femur has a developed linea aspera. Now, we should know what do we mean by linea aspera, what actually linea aspera is. This is simply, we have femur, and femur is having an anterior part and a posterior part. To the posterior part, we have a longitudinal ridge running down the shaft of femur to which various muscles got attached. And femur has a developed linea aspera in case of the Cro-Magnon man. So this gives the strong musculature to the Cro-Magnon man. Coming to the height of Cro-Magnon man, so the height of Cro-Magnon man is around 5.9 feet. In centimeters, it's around 180 centimeters. Cro-Magnon man also has rectangular orbits. Orbits is a place where our eyes are engraved, or we can say the eye sockets. Let's have a look at the diagram to understand it more clearly. This is the eye sockets. This is the skull of a Cro-Magnon man, and these are the eye sockets in the shape of rectangle, representing the rectangular orbits. Also, there is the diagram of linea aspera, so that you can see this is the posterior part of femur to which various muscles get attached, giving a strong musculature to the Cro-Magnon man. Now coming to the cultural characteristics. First of all, we'll learn about where actually Cro-Magnon man were living, where they reside actually. They live inside the caves, rocks, and they made a pits, or we can say they live in the pit dwellings. They also have made use of number of tools like bow and arrows, spears, harpoons, and axes with handles also. And here are some diagrams. This is the harpoon they have used, and this is the spear. The front is quite sharp, which they used to throw at the animal they want to hunt. Cro-Magnon man were also well versed with the method of food storage. They have an improved hearth system. They have improved clothing, and it has been said that on studying the fossils of a Cro-Magnon man, we can simply say that they have a systematic and planned hunting system. They systematically plan how to hunt an animal. Their cave paintings have symbolically represented the coded informations and also about the belief system of the Cro-Magnon man society. The Cro-Magnon man have also made the sculptures out of rocks. We can also see that the sculptures are made on the rocks, and also they Cro-Magnon man used to bury their dead ones, because the burials have been they have been found at many places, and those burials were associated with the goods, and those burials with the goods show that there is a change in the belief pattern and also the existence of the social class. There has been a change in belief patterns, the existence of the social class, by associating burials with the goods. Now they also used to hunt the number of animals that include mammoths, the cave bear, woolly rhinoceros, and many others. So this all the cultural characteristics represent the Cro-Magnon man's belonging to Upper Paleolithic age. Now coming to the phylogeny. It has been seen that evolutionary possibilities of a Cro-Magnon man are not that much clear. Similar fossils have been found from various different places like in Africa and West Asia, and they were dated around 1 lakh years ago. Now the transformation of the Cro-Magnon man to a modern man, there has no evidence been found for such transformations, if it had occurred or not, and if not, then what has happened to them. So we can say how long Cro-Magnon man has lasted, there has no clear distinction for the same. And according to some anthropologists, it has been found that Cro-Magnon man continues to exist even in the present days. People with certain characteristics have been found at Dordogne and Canary Island, France, or the ranchos of the Canary Islands, they are representing the Cro-Magnon man type currently. We can say the ranchos are actually a, we can say, tribe or a people living in the Canary Islands, who are representing the Cro-Magnon man. So this way we can say that it is difficult to determine how long they have lasted and what had happened to the Cro-Magnon man. Presumably they were gradually absorbed into the European population that have came later. So with this, Cro-Magnon man is completed, and in our next lectures we'll come up with Grimaldi man and Chancellor man. So this is it for today. Hope you have liked the video, and for more such videos please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.